Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.
Top of the morning to you and a very good day. This is Newsline and I'm joined by my wonderful colleague in blue, Bandula Jayasekar. Very good morning.
Good morning, Shaukat. You're wearing a nice blue tie.
Indeed, it's a wonderful tie and you can't buy it for money. That's the best part of it. It's a capital Maharaja tie.
Maybe I should get one too.
Yes, you might have to change your shirt, oh boy.
I can,
And we're also delighted to welcome on our program the legal man extraordinaire, former ambassador. Very good morning to you.
Good morning. So, I was wondering whether you would say maverick lawyer or call me some other name.
I'm
like
glad you also
some
called
other
me Shaukat.
journalists call me sometimes.
Yes.
When I press too hard, they think I'm maverick. When I talk freely, they think that
You're mad.
I'm mad. So, but thank you very much to call me.
Yes, it's always a pleasure to have you here. But I'm sort of wondering that with all this lawlessness that's going around, that business must be pretty good for you as a lawyer.
Not about business, but I'm stating that this is a pathetic state.
Isn't it just?
Where people are being killed at random. There was a time, I remember, that was when I just joined the profession. There were murders inside court, outside court, bombs were being thrown. The underworld.
You're talking 40 years ago?
About 40 years. The underworld was supreme. They were very powerful. No one could tap them. All the politicians begged to join them. There was a fight between the politicians to get the best hitman to their side. Then they were killing for money. And unfortunately, all this has resurfaced. This started with the elections where some people were killed in Colombo North, right?
So nothing has really changed, has it?
No, it changed for some time, as I said earlier. During the time of Gotabaya Rajapaksa, the underworld were trying to. They went away from Sri Lanka, and when I was the ambassador in Italy, I found some of my old clients who were committed a lot of murders and various other things, drug dealers. Italy.
So your underworld clients?
Underworld, they were in Italy. I was surprised to see them, and they were very good citizens. They were behaving, they were working very hard, and they were frightened to come back. I asked, why won't you go back? No, sir. I'm not frightened of the other rival gang, but I'm frightened of the government and the white man. They'll come and take us and kill us, so we are here until the government changes.
I've just got an SMS through. It's obviously somebody who knows you well, because he says, your guest is my friend. He may be organizing the current situation to get more cases.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
Are you able to fix these things?
I have not appeared for any underworld criminal for a long time.
Okay.
Because one thing I believe, they have their own set of lawyers who appears for them regularly. And those people, some of these people like Sanka, I don't know them. I don't know them. I never heard of them.
How do they come to you? How do you get your clients? They come and ring the bell?
No, they come and they come and telephone me and ask me. As far as we are concerned, we have, unless there is certain important reasons not to appear, unless there is a conflict of interest. Anyone wants my services, if they are prepared to pay my fees.
Are they very high, your fees?
No, my fees are moderate. I don't want to discuss about my fees. We don't think of.
But I'll be doing another book.
Yeah.
And it'll have a section this time on lawyers and on doctors.
Yeah. So you can have and my fees are very moderate, and I pay taxes.
Okay. That's very good.
Yeah, pay taxes, and then what is important today is not what I have been doing, or what I have been, how to control this underworld, which is the menace, and which is really the fear. Fear has crept into the people. Can you remember for us some time ago, say during the Chandrika Bandara Kumartham's time, early part of Mahinda Rajapaksa's time, people are frightened to even watch the TV all alone, because there were so many burglaries. Right? They used to come, point your gun, and rob the entire house and go, and no one talks. And but then they know at the moment that kind of burglary is not there. But the underworld are coming mainly because they want to show the politicians who are supporting them that they are the most powerful clique.
Do you think the Prime Minister, in his, he's very, he displays a great amount of loyalty to the people closest and dearest to him? Take the instance of the very important role of the Minister in charge of the police and law and order. Yeah. It's a long-term confidant of the Prime Minister, Sagar Ratnayake. Nothing wrong with young Sagar, of course, but the point is, wouldn't it have been better for the Prime Minister to put somebody like Sarath Fonseca in charge of
but I believe the Prime Minister was having his own reasons, and I believe he trusts Sagar Ratnayake more than anyone else. So this is a very important role, and John Amratunga, I thought, did a very, very good job. Though there were a lot of criticisms, he did a very good job, and I think John he handled the police very well. And even last time, during the short time when he handled the police, the opposition was very, very angry because he got the police to work. But today, unfortunately, even Sagar Ratnayake can't do it because the police commission is such an inept commission. We have been talking about commissions, we have been talking about the freedoms, we have been talking about the politicians interfering. But today, what has happened? The IGP can interdict any person, right? And IGP can refrain from doing that to any person. Now, for instance, a man, OIC of a certain station was supposed to be drunk when two other high officers went, but he was in the station, not in the station, he was drunk and he was interdicted. There was a time that entire Badulla police station, Badulla area, the entire police station was transferred on mere allegation of bribery. I know classic case in Duminda Silva's case. The IP was very efficient police officer who was handling that case, did not come in time to court, and the magistrate issued a warrant not to caution him. He did not come in the time in court because the case was adjourned, and there was a problem about the time in which, and he was interdicted forthwith. Now that, we were shocked, but if that was the discipline, what about the Ameripijaya case? Why aren't he not permitting, why aren't he not granting permission for the police officer to arrest the other suspects, So therefore there is a nexus between IG and his confidants, this present
so it's nothing.
ASP is his PSO, and he wants to protect him.
So basically it's very similar to what the Prime Minister is also doing.
No, the Prime Minister, I don't think the Prime Minister...
He's got his confidant.
Yeah, he got his confidant, but then I don't think the Prime Minister, and I know, when Mr. Kavinda Javadana met him, he said, no, if the police have done something wrong, we must take appropriate action. But the problem here is...
But he's not following up.
No, not. The problem is, even the Prime Minister or the President or Sagar Ratnayake can't give directions to the IG. He's not following the directions.
Get rid of him.
So
he's retiring next month. He's retiring.
This is the problem.
Shall we all breathe a sigh of collective relief then?
Absolutely. So I have, for us, when I spoke about when I spoke about the IG, the amount of calls I got from innocent police officers who have been deprived of their promotions, who have been just put into a side because they did not belong to the elite camp of STF, was enormous. In fact, I thought...
Oh, you are angry with the IG because you are a lawyer.
No, I'm not.
And you have a clash with the police.
I thought he was a very excellent IG from what I heard. But when this recent happening, I found. Then when I inquired from the police, I found that this man is like any other Sri Lankan. He want to protect his own people, like the politicians. Politicians want to protect the underworld. Underworld want to protect their politicians. Police officers want to protect the underworld. So like that. So therefore, there are a lot of injustice.
And you appear for the underworld.
No, I don't. I'm a lawyer. Can I? Someone come and say Now who is I'm so and so. I want to retain your services. Can I say no? I mean, they'll report me to the Supreme Court and say that I have refused to accept the brief for no reason. So I am compelled by law and by ethics to appear. But now I have refrained from doing so because I accept very few cases. Only one case.
Are you appearing free for them?
Is that because the economy is down and people can't afford to pay?
The economy is down. There is no question about it. No, I want to relax. I don't.
Of course.
I want to have some time with you all. Yeah. Come and appear in Pathikada and Newsline and talk to you. Yeah. And my freedom is more important than money.
Wonderful.
Are you appearing free for this Ambalipitia case?
Yes,
free.
I have. That's why I said that every time I go on the highway, I always think of Mahinda Rajapaksa. Not because he appointed me as an ambassador, but the man that I was able to appear free. Not myself, 7 other lawyers. Can you imagine 7 other lawyers from Colombo, very junior lawyers? They come all the way to Ambalipitia. I go to Ambalipitia. It's a pleasure to go on that highway. It's a great pleasure, like a holiday for me to go there, appear, and come back.
Well, yes, we acknowledge all that, but in a world where there are deals within deals and wheels within wheels, shall we say that you are almost, along with that other chap, Sarat, sort of responsible for the election of Mahinda Rajapaksa as president?
There's so many Sarats.
I never supported Mahinda Rajapaksa openly.
That's what I mean.
I have. No, at that time, for us, I personally believe Mahinda Rajapaksa was the only leader who could defeat the LTT. That's all. We all got together. Not the second time, or first time. And I believe there were 2 phases of Mahinda Rajapaksa. Before the war and after the war. After the war, he became a completely different person. Before the war, he was, he had these weaknesses, but he was able to command, able to give leadership to those and defeat the LTT. The only country in the world, not even the Americans could defeat the terrorists.
To discuss now, our friend Victor Ivan, who also got skeletons in the cupboards like all of us, right, says Sri Lankan media worse than the judiciary. He goes to the information department and he delivers.
It's very unfair to paint our judges who are doing excellent service. Our judges, you must understand, they live a very secluded life, except 1 or 2, 3. Like in my profession, like in the medical profession, there are few people who may not be good, people may get audited of them. But the judges are doing excellent job. And this is, now I read the article, he's talking about a incident that happened so many years ago. And Victor Ivan and I fell out also because I took the side of the judge who was supposed to be rapist. That I wrote an article in the Mundlia, and Victor was very angry. So, and then Sarat Silva. Now we all agree Sarat Silva was the worst Chief Justice ever to have sat on that bench. But still, right, that phase has passed. So now the judges are doing, and similar journalists also, I believe, right, except 1 or 2, right. Others may say Victor Ivan is also in the same boat. People who are now who say that Victor Ivan is this and he committed fraud. I don't know if it's true or not. But what I'm trying to say, you cannot paint. Can you say that all the lawyers?
Maybe Victor is painting himself here.
Yeah, all the lawyers are the same. All the lawyers are bad. All the lawyers are crooks. Or all the lawyers must be killed. You can't say that. There are lawyers and people who have worked. Now these 5 lawyers from Udul Premanath and others have gone to Ambalipitia on their own. I don't think they have even money to pump petrol for their cars. So they want to appear for the people. So there are so many. So similarly, I think very, very unfair. I know he is bringing the same case, same case about a
And for that, he
magistrate
goes to the information
who have been-
department and says this.
Magistrate who raped a woman and the Saratsila protected him.
On that note, and to find out more about how inequitable everything else seems to be in the field of the legal world, we'll take a short break, but do stay tuned. Welcome back to Newsline, and we're joined this morning by lawyer, former ambassador Hemanta Warnakulasuriya. Hemanta, you also have an abiding interest in cricket, but before that I just want to ask you, there's this lawlessness, rampant lawlessness. What's going on?
Yeah, I believe, I believe I myself find it very difficult to find a solution. I will tell you, for us in Singapore, when the same thing happened, when there were two famous gangs, Black Tigers and some other gang, they were fighting and killing each other. Every day there were bodies all over Singapore. Lee Kuan Yew thought that I must put a stop to this. What did he do? He brought in an archaic law called the Internal Security Law, brought by the British to prevent Malaysia being taken over by communists. And that law permits the minister, on petitions being submitted to him, remand any person. So, what he did was, without killing them like in white pants, they took everyone, all of them, whether there was evidence or not, they remanded. No court could question that. Now, unlike the Supreme Court of Sri Lanka, they went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court did not heed to their request, and habeas corpus was denied. And there was, within a very short time, there was absolute peace in Singapore, and one of the safest countries in the world. But is that democratic? I believe it's utterly undemocratic piece of legislation.
Very draconian.
Draconian. Yeah. And what happened recently, I saw, about 10 years ago, I saw the man who opposed Lee Kuan Yew coming out of the jail after 40 years, after 30 years, and into a different world. So now, it's true that as much as white men prevented the thing, but killing we condemn. We say this is undemocratic. Similarly, that kind of law is undemocratic. So there must be some method. I cannot think of. We have a committee of high-powered people must sit together and devise the method to stop this.
It seems very very odd, isn't it, that this lawlessness thing has come up on it's sort of flared up again.
Yeah, and I think that's why President is taken control. Like this interview, he should, because that's where the orders are coming. He's the
I personally
commander in chief.
I just think personally that the president should direct his prime minister to change the Minister of Law and Order, give it to Sarat Fonseca.
Yeah, I also support it.
And I believe also that suddenly, how did this erupt? That is because from the first election, for the first time there was a shooting incident in Colombo North Electorate, and they said that one of the most important deadly underworld elements has come back from abroad, and now they feel they are quite free.
And the politicians have returned their services.
Politicians have protected them; they are quite free. And there was a time, I know, for certain underworld, even the politicians are fighting. They were trying to get them onto their side. I mean, these are dirty world. I mean, this is what happens. The politicians who patronizes these underworld elements must be punished.
We have one regular viewer who sent this message in. He says, "Those who sell democracy are actually selling hypocrisy." Is that true?
In Sri Lanka, it's absolutely true, because here, even if we talk about democracy, then in the entire world, where there is democracy, there is underworld. I mean, in America, in the US, in England, there is this underworld. In India, so there is a conflict. So only draconian legislation or draconian methods would prevent the underworld from mushrooming up and then from...
Yeah, now USA says that, you should suggest a solution to the problem.
Yeah, the solution, I believe, I don't know whether whether I could agree with Shaukat about the minister. I feel sorry for him. But what we must do is the president must call some important people, some lawyers.
But we can't have baggage. If you can't deliver, you step out of the way. Lead or step out of the way.
The president must, I believe, high-powered police officers, ex-police officers, lawyers, and others in a committee, and we must sit together and devise a method. One of the things is bringing this draconian legislation, because now even at the moment people are saying Prevention of Terrorism Act, which is based on the IAS, Internal Security Law. It should be abolished. But then that prevented the escalation of LTT. So similarly here, something similar must be brought in. And the other thing is, do we have the power? Do we have the guts to go into to the dealings of politicians who are helping the underworld? I was surprised when J.R. Javadana, when he first contested in 1977. I went to a meeting, and he was coming on a Cadillac given to him by then on top of the bonnet there was a man seated. That time I knew him very well. He was my client, Mahavatta Indare. Now he was the man, Mahavatta Indare, Sotipadi brother. And he was the man giving protection to J.R. Javadana. So this culture, and before that, Chandika.
And J.R. wanted to create a Dharmista Samaja.
Even that is one of the most noble prime ministers we had Ossi Korea. Can you remember Ossi Korea tried to run through a demonstration and kill people? And so therefore it's very, very unfortunate. Politicians feel the power is the power to oppress people, power to cripple people, power to prevent opposition.
Hemad, if they are depending on them, what about the security forces? They have no faith in the security
forces. Will not do that kind of. They will not kill. No, they will use their arm to give protection. Here, the underworld is used by the politicians to oppress.
But is there a bigger reason for this sort of outbreak in?
Yeah, because naturally narcotics, drugs, money is very, very important, and for them it's a question of killing the other person to have a complete hold. I mean the way that Vele Sudha now Vele Sudha has supposed to have built a house for a former IGP, right? And the huge palatial house.
Who is the former IGP?
Mahinda Balasura left the country. Now I am asking the IG, why is he giving police protection to that house?
Perhaps because he might get occupied by somebody else.
No. So therefore, this is a very, very unfortunate situation.
But you talk about the former Defence Secretary Gotabaya and so on. But he was the man, arguably the one who's held responsible for this fear psychosis that was prevalent at the time.
With the fear, the white man culture should be condemned by any democratic any democrat. But at the same time, we must not forget the underworld.
But the repercussions of that kind of activity on the part of Gota, who was clearly given carte blanche by his brother to do what he liked and without being accountable. The repercussions of that is that we have an escalation of this sort of lawlessness. You do what you like, because we can do it and we can get away with it.
No, No, what was wrong with what diabolical about Gotabaya's operation was, on the one hand, he prevented the underworld, but at the same time, he permitted certain people to have their own underworld gang, But he did not have the same methodology adopted to arrest them. So therefore, there was clearly a man who is a political favorite had his own underworld, very, very powerful, whereas others went away. So this is, I believe, any democrat, any lawyer should condemn what Gotabaya did. But at the same time, when you go to another country, the only country I know where underworld have been curbed is Singapore. They use the most draconian legislation to curb the liberties of the people. No one talks about it because Singapore is so powerful. Americans don't talk about it. There are no resolutions passed. People are languishing in jail for 30, 40 years. Nothing happens.
This might be unfair to ask you this, but let me ask you anyway. What about Domindo? Did he have...
No, I should not. The case is pending.
I see.
There's a case pending.
So you're appearing for him?
I'm not appearing, but I'm bound by the oath of secrecy. I mean, whatever he told me.
All right. Okay.
That I cannot say that.
But going back to Gota's time, shall we call it, he had, because one of these viewers is telling me, contact Gota, he has a solution. Yeah. But what is that solution? Yeah. Is it to threaten journalists?
No, that is why these it's very, very unfortunate. Now even you must understand, Bharat, with all those, with all the maneuvers, all the lawlessness, using the lawlessness to curb the underworld, he could not curb the drugs in Sri Lanka. I mean,
why couldn't he curb the drugs?
Because he permitted certain other people to import drugs and sell it.
And ethanol,
exactly.
That's
also.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Ethanol, yeah.
That is the reason. But I asked him, why can't have so many drugs, so many agents all over. I think I can remember 1 week, 2 weeks there were no drugs, and people went mad. So I mean, but after that, the whole thing resurfaced with enough drugs anywhere. Now even today, if the police wants, we must really help the government to curb the drug menace. And if you go back to the field, you can see every nook and corner. People
the customs union meeting the president today, we are told, on the Prado matters, the so-called Prado matter. But perhaps the president should tell them, and maybe we should send.
I believe the president is extremely sincere. I feel very, very sorry for him because I don't really get the support. But we must all support him to do the correct thing. He had far
it's obvious.
done the correct thing.
Yes,
I think he must support it in order to tell him the methods in which we must have a brainstorming session where everybody must sit together and decide what should be done.
In this brainstorming session, and if you're there, would you kindly tell the president that he must get rid of his Minister for Law and Order, Mr. Zagul Ratnaik. He's a terribly nice chap, but he just can't deliver. So if he can't deliver, he needs to step aside.
Paras is an extremely nice, handsome young boy, and I feel I don't have the heart to ask him to go because he's also from Matara, and my son-in-law defeated him, and he came third. So I mean,
you don't find baggage.
The Prime Minister likes him, and he feels that he can deliver.
It's astonishing that the country has to pay the price, and we really must get to grips with lawlessness in this organisation. There is no baggage.
Absolutely.
You either deliver or you step aside.
I think, Shaukat, I agree with you. You should bring Sarat Fonseca to this.
Government in this country had their own favourite minister, their own politician.
Ladies and gentlemen, our viewing public, the time has come now to say goodbye to you, Hemantha, and thank you for being on the programme. But, ladies and gentlemen, if you feel strongly that you need to have the lawlessness controlled, why don't you email the Prime Minister and tell him to get himself a new Minister in charge of law and order? You can find the number, the email address on the government website.
Maybe Prime Minister can bring you on.
No. This is a very serious matter. You need to take it in hand. Vandana, thank you very much. And on that note, we'll wish you a very good morning. Thank you for having watched us, and we look forward to you viewing us Monday to Friday at 7 o'clock till 7:30. Thank you, take care, and God bless.
Newsfirst Newsline with Faraz Shaukat Ali.